When we get up in the morning, along with coffee, toast, and cake. If you're like the old Stone Roadie, you like to wake and bake. Now let's join Craig, Reed, and Griff Martin as we head out on the road. So sit right back, buckle right in. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Time to rise and shine. I'm Shelby Barrett, the Stoned for the STONED Roadie Show, and it's time to Wake and Bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
Podcast 169 of the STONED Roadie Show, and it's episode number 50 of the Wake and Bake, the Morning Buzz action. Alrighty then, looky here, fellow Earthlings. Here it is, Wednesday, May 15th. And it's another edition of the STONED Roadie Show. And my name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the STONED Roadie, also known as a small circuit, as the most famous roadie ever since the dinosaurs. And this is my co-host, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So what are we going to talk about this fine Wednesday morning there, Mr. Martin?
Well, I see you out in front of your new store, Craig. That
in my storefront, yeah.
And you're wearing your lab coat that I sent you about 5 years ago.
A long time ago. Yeah, I was looking for a special occasion to wear this, and it's episode 50 of the Wake and Bake, the Morning Buzz. So I thought that was a pretty appropriate time to feature something I was wearing from when I was in space here. This is
that's
the United Space Agency, right?
Alliance. United Space Alliance. They no longer exist, and that's why I gave it to you, because they no longer exist. They were a conglomeration between Lockheed and Boeing, and the only reason they formed that company was in case a space shuttle blew up. They couldn't blame it on Boeing or Lockheed. They could blame it on United Space Alliance and just dissolve the company.
Oh, yeah.
So that's your sneaky government at work for you there, Craig. And that Reed's Grocery, that's about 5 miles down the road from my house in the seedy side of town. And I didn't even realize it. I said, damn, I got to turn around. I think that said Reed's Grocery. And I went over there and I said, I got to take a picture of that for Craig's green screen. And there's a black guy out front. And he said, let me get out of the way. And I said, no, man, I want you in the picture. He goes, man, I don't need to be up in no picture over here. He wouldn't stay in there. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Reed's Grocery. So yeah, didn't you say we got some more donations there, Craig?
Yeah, we sure do. Yeah. Well, start off with, I had that, my nephew sent me the Billy Powell t-shirt, and then, oh gosh, what was his name? God, I'm going to think of it here in a minute. But anyways, yeah, it's the Ed King shirt. Oh God. Anyways, yeah, the Ed King.
Mr. X.
No, I'll think of it. Steve Jones, Jiminy Christmas.
Oh, that's not like that's a hard name, Greg.
My God, yeah, I know. I mean, I'm one of my good friends. His name's Steve Jones. I did a radio show with every couple weeks. His name was Steve Jones. Hey, Steve Jones, out here watching him. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who that guy is.
Jones. But yeah, the Ed King T-shirt and the Billy Powell T-shirt. I got a bid for $250 each for those, and my nephew Ed Volk, donated the Billy Powell shirt, T-shirt that when Billy Powell was out there at a rehab center where my nephew happens to be working now, and he happened to mention his uncle worked for Lynyrd Skynyrd and somebody out there said, "Man, Billy Powell went through this program here and signed a couple of things and gave them to my nephew so we could, sell them and give money to the survivors." And I still have that vest. I don't feel like showing it right now. I'll show it some other time. But we still have that vest. That's a real nice vest. It's a small though. And it says "To Joe" on it. It's probably why we haven't got anything on that. But yeah. So John Hartline, I told him go ahead and send me $500. So yeah, that'll be $100 a piece though to add on to the survivor fund. We're
way to go, John.
Steadily cruising along, and then John and Lindy Dawson sent $100 for the survivor fund.
Awesome.
Yeah. So got that going for us too, and then we got John and Philomena Morrow sent in another $25, so they've sent in $75 so far here on this round of the fun thing. And they want that $25 to go to Leslie. I got that wrote in my notes. So that'll go $25 toward Leslie, and then our friend Chris Eldridge, I mentioned the other day that he sent in another $75, but I didn't show the official notification like I'm doing now. And then me and Kathy Godsey just have to be talking about it. I said, yeah, my friend Chris Eldridge, he sent in another $75. He sent in $300 so far. Yeah, but I mentioned him the other day doing it, but I didn't give him the official certification. So here you go, Chris. Here's your official certification. George's lawn service. He surfaced and he said, "Hey, cool. I'm a winner." Yeah, he got a lot of free advertisement from us. George's lawn service. He finally surfaced and acknowledged that he's a winner, and he wanted to know what he won. Well, you won one of those $50, and I'm still working on the document. Griff can attest to you that I called him today, and I was working. Griff, I told him I'd give him one, but it just says that I presented him one because he's the co-host on the Stoned Roadie show. So that was
he's getting there. He's getting there with it.
Yeah, I'm working it out. And all these donations, we're going to send those out right at the time when we end this. This is the spring giveaway, and we're going to stop the spring giveaway here with the silver dollar giveaway, and then we'll tally up all the money we've taken in on this half a year of the donations, and we'll announce that, and I'll send that out to everybody. And what else I got going on here? Gee, I don't have nothing else. Oh God, yeah. Somebody the other day asked me who's played slide on Mr. Banker, and I made a mistake of answering a question of something that I wasn't there, and I really was.
You said it was really Gary.
Wasn't sure, but I thought I made a educated guess because I was thinking Mr. Banker was written in Muscle Shoals, and they did it at the Muscle Shoals session, and of course, Ed wasn't there, and Alan doesn't play slide, so I kind of listened to it, and at first it sounded a little weird. It didn't kind of sound like Gary, but then I heard some things. I said, well, it's got to be Gary, but then today somebody said, no, Craig, that was Ed. So then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, Mr. Banker was written after the Muscle Shoals things, because Muscle Shoals things had Michelle and Need All My Friends, and then Mr. Banker come along with I think Four Roads or Four.
Walls at Rayford.
No, it wasn't then. God, when did that come along? Mr. Banker come along. Seems like Ed did do it. I don't know. I can't. I'm not going to comment on that because I wasn't there, and I don't. It seems like I remember something about all that, but it's coming back to me. But it's up in there somewhere. But yeah, I made a mistake. But yeah, somebody out there straightened me out, and that's so I don't like to talk about something if I wasn't there because I hate.
Oh
to
no,
say
what you were talking about, Craig, was that Saturday night special, and they were talking about Gene and Ronnie getting in a fight with Dickie Betts,
No,
and
I talked about that, but somebody asked about Mr. Banker, who played on slide on Mr.
oh
Banker.
yeah,
I said it was Gary, and I guess I was wrong. I didn't do any research on it. I just kind of tried to wing it. I said, well, I don't think Ed was there, so it had to be Gary. But that's what I get for thinking. But yeah, I was wrong. But I didn't lie. It's not like I lied because I thought I was right. But when you're lying, you just know you're lying. But when you say something and you're just mistaken, I don't think that's really a lie. That's just a mistake. I don't know.
well, even Christopher Columbus might not remember how many days it took to get to the Cook's Islands. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you can't be perfect, Craig.
Did
Right?
he say the Earth was flat, or what was his theory on?
I don't think they.
From
I think. I
England,
think they. Yeah, I think that
that's
he
just
thought it
straight
was round.
across. But before they made that Panama Canal, man, they had to take the long way around, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they didn't know what was out. They thought that there's monsters in the ocean and all kinds of stuff.
Well, I think there is too. There's stuff out there that we
There
don't know
is.
about.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt
Well, if
that.
you think about it, it's pretty
There's
deep now.
spaceships out there. That's where the spaceships are living in the ocean.
I wouldn't doubt it. I don't doubt if
They
you.
say that they've actually got sonic things that they've tracked something going like hundreds of miles an hour in the water, and we know that's theoretically impossible to our technology. You know.
Nothing surprises me anymore. I don't care what it is. It's not going to surprise me because the stuff I've seen lately, nothing surprises me. And I don't believe anything either unless I see it with my own eyes. And even then, I don't know if I believe it. But but speaking of slide, Craig, that dobro back there, that Kenny Phillips back there, that Kenny Phillips donated, I called him up today and I said, hey, I said, why don't we just because the proceeds, the funds that can't come from that go to Gene Odom. I said, why don't we just give that to Gene Odom and let him do whatever he wants with it? And so I called Gene and he goes, certainly, man. Yeah, certainly. I'll take it down to the monument in October and auction it off. So that's what he's gonna do. So I don't have to deal with that anymore. I was worried about not getting enough money out of it, and
Somebody told me they wanted to donate a guitar that they made and wanted to know what I thought about it. I went, man, that's pretty cool, but God, it costs so much for you to ship it
yeah,
up there, and for us to sell it and ship it out. It would eat up all the profit. I
yeah,
said,
exactly right.
thanks for the offer, but it's just not
Yeah,
feasible.
and I was mentioning something about the Saturday night special, and Craig and I have made a decision that when Craig does a Saturday night special, we're not going to do a Monday morning wake and bake because that's just too much skin formation in 1 week.
Yeah,
So
sometimes less is more, man.
yeah,
We just can't. I mean, you don't want us to talk about fat people and It takes. You let me talk about fat people. I'd have a
Yeah.
lot to talk about. I went out today. To the what I out in public, and I call that the what do I call that it's like going out in public's going out into the the human laboratory rat society, and everybody's like a bunch of laboratory rats. They're all hooked on
Oh,
sugar and
yeah. That's
stuff, and
true.
they're all just running around like big fat rats. I just
Eating
laugh.
all those chemicals, those
Yeah,
carcinogens,
yeah, they suck on all that
bio food.
made bio, and they don't care. No.
Yeah, that's true. It is a big laboratory in these grocery stores. I was in Aldi's today, and I heard Aldi's, they had some, pretty that they didn't have a lot of bioengineered, but that's not true. They got a lot of bioengineered crap in there too, and a high fructose corn syrup, and yeah, I mean, and I saw a thing that they say in just a couple years that they'll be able to print meat out and you won't be able to tell the difference. I guarantee you I'll be able to tell the difference.
But I asked
Whatever.
you during the pre-show if you had any weird dreams, and you goes, yeah. As a matter of fact, I had. Man, what it just seems like that since these Aurora
Yeah.
borealis been going on, I have had some very vivid dreams. It's just like, man, I wake up, I go, I don't want to go back to sleep. I don't want to get involved in that dream again. My God, it's just like it wears you out, man. I dreamed I was on the road, and I couldn't get packed. I just kept packing. I had too much stuff. I couldn't get it packed, and I was late to get on the bus or whatever mode of trans. I don't know what mode. I don't remember what mode of transportation we had, but we had to leave the hotel, and I couldn't get packed, and I woke up and I go, God.
Yeah, I did the same thing, man. In the middle of the night I woke up. I don't even remember what the dream was. I just remember how vivid it was. And I never had a vivid dream like that before. And I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. It was so real. I was like, damn. And sometimes, you wake up, you don't know where the hell you're at even,
But
you know?
they were talking a long time ago about something happening was supposed to happen that was supposed to change the frequency or something of, the frequency, like you tune a guitar's, normal frequencies 432, and they've jumped it up to 440, then it takes it out of whack for some reason. But yeah, they said that the frequency was going to change, and people were going to be more in tone to what was really going on, or to in tone with nature or whatever. It's supposed to be some kind of phenomenon. It's just really weird that this Aurora thing's been going on, and I've been having all these really vivid dreams, and I just wondered if anybody else has noticed that here in the last
You
couple
hadn't
of
been
weeks.
eating those mushroom stems again, have
No,
you?
no, I
No?
haven't, no, I haven't been eating the mushroom candy or anything. I haven't been drinking. I got last time automotive was over here. He left a big bunch of bottles of whiskey here. I haven't been touching anything.
Yeah,
No.
you were talking about on Facebook about you put out a post, wanted to know where Johnny and Ricky and those guys were signing the Hell House whiskey bottle, and I think you finally got an answer, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, and I wanted to know what color ink they were using, because I've been getting requests to sign bottles, and I don't want to. I don't like to deface anything, so I didn't want to sign the labels. And I was hoping that Johnny and Ricky were signing the bottles, the bottle, instead of the label. And I guess when they first started signing them, they were signing the label, but now I think they are just signing the bottle.
With the
Oh, I wasn't
signature.
going to tell everybody that, because then
Oh,
the
yeah.
band will steal my idea. Yeah.
I can edit that out if you want.
Yeah, you have to get a Stone Roadie Craig Reed signature to find out how to keep. I'm gonna make it so that that'll
Yeah.
stay. Don't want him to steal my idea.
uh, it seemed like to me that if you did, have them sign the glass, it would scratch off really easy.
Yeah, rub off. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So,
mean,
yeah.
it's just
I've
glass.
got a technique. Yeah, I invented a technique that'll work around that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I already spilled the beans on, but I'll edit that out. So anytime you see, I'll give you guys a little hint. If you see me go like this with my notebook, that's a marker for me to know where to edit something. And when I scroll through the video, and I can pick up that white book, and I know where to edit it out at.
I
So,
didn't even know that. How about
yeah,
that?
that's a.
We don't edit much, though. I
No,
mean,
we don't edit much. No, we don't edit too much. That's why. That's the only reason people like the podcast, because we don't edit anything. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. What else we got going? Oh, um, yeah, I got a bunch of comments and stuff to go over, and something been wanting to talk about here, because keep getting these people asking me on Facebook Messenger, where's Six Gun? What's happened to Six Gun? Blah 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 blah. Be honest with you, those guys, they hadn't talked to me lately, and they haven't talked to several people I know. And at first, I was kind of like, had a little bit of hurt feelings over that. But sometimes you gotta step back and take a look at what people are going through. And I was kind of thinking, those guys, they were getting pulled in so many damn different directions, because that damn Zach is so good, and those and Seda, and then Savannah. And I was thinking, they had a lot of people pulling at them and going, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Somebody's in their ear over here. Somebody's in their ear over there. And I think they just probably need to take a little break, and or either that, or I pissed them off. But I mean, it's not like I'm losing any sleep over it. But and then I started thinking, I really do miss those guys. And I did hear from Kathy Keeble, and she was talking about Savannah. And Savannah just got surgery again, and she's got stitches in her foot. So she's I think had her last surgery on her foot, so that's where that's at with them. And then I don't know a whole lot about Six Gun other than that, but I did put together a little on the road with Griff Martin of Six Gun when they were in the studio, and they were in Jacksonville practicing with Seda and Savannah and Derek Hess and Barry Lee. And this is some really cool footage. It's not a lot of footage, but it's Barry Lee and Derek Hess in the studio and playing some really good music, and showing them in the studio and how they did Getaway. And I'm gonna run that at the end of this, and you guys will get a big kick out of that. It's kind of like an on the road with Griff Martin with some special footage in the studio. And it's, if you haven't seen Barry Lee in a while, you get to see him, and you get to see him playing. And one of my favorite parts is at the end when they were recording, Barry Lee was throwing down the ending lick for Getaway, and I was sitting right there recording him, and he threw like a little lick in there, and it was like I was like, damn, how in the hell did he do that? He's such a phenomenal musician, guitar player. He's, like John Paul Jones, John Paul Jones and Zeppelin, they say he could play anything. That's Barry Lee. Barry Lee can play anything. And you can attest to that, right, Craig?
Oh, yeah. Anything with strings on it, I know he can play. I guess he can play anything, I guess.
Yeah, and then of
Imagine he
course,
can even outplay me on a kazoo.
yeah, and he's actually singing in one familiar footage. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but yeah, you guys stick around for the end of the On the Road with Griff Martin special edition. And we wish Six Gun well. I heard they got a new drummer, and that song Getaway. You guys go to Spotify or iTunes, and you can purchase that, or you can hear it. And after you see him in this footage in the studio, you're going to want to do that so you can see how it turned out. So, kind of little down memory lane with Six Gun, and I miss you guys, and I hope you're doing well. And
Yeah,
then got.
I talked to Zach a few days ago. I asked him to emulate that Alan Collins Tarzan yell.
Oh yeah,
and he did it, And then I was thinking there was something else in there, so he was gonna work on it a little bit, but he got it down. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I saw in that Alan Collins video footage that you guys talked about on Kathy and you guys talked about on the Saturday night special. But by the way, I really liked that Saturday night special, and I saw Alan. He was like pointing his guitar like you said he does. He was pointing, and then he threw the mic, and I guess you caught it.
Yeah.
And then I was watching Skynyrd when it was in '97 when they did their 20th album, and and you knew who all they had in the band at the time. And I was asking Craig, I said, Johnny went way to the other side of the stage and he threw that mic stand like a spear all the way across the stage. And I was asking Craig, how in the hell did Ronnie didn't throw it that far? And I guess that was a wireless mic, was it?
Yeah, there was a wire on it when Ronnie did it, so we could only throw it 10, 15 feet at the most, because, there's 3 guitar players out there and that wire is going across the stage. So, yeah, they knew it was coming, so they allowed for it. But, yeah, you couldn't throw it very far. And he just kind of tossed it underhand like that. So it just, but, yeah, Johnny threw it like a spear, and then I'd go over and catch it with one hand. It was pretty cool.
He's got an arm on him, man. Johnny,
we had to practice it we practiced that for a while.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't practice much, but
they don't do that anymore, do they?
No, David Baker still catches. I don't know if they do it to that extent, but
I didn't see him.
Yeah, when Johnny first got with the band, I said, "Man, you got to throw me that mic," and so we worked on it. But yeah.
You gotta have that in there, right before.
Yeah, Gary would throw me the slide, and then Huey would flick his pick at me to see if I could catch it, and I'd snatch him out of the air with one hand sometimes.
And what was that drummer's name that we were talking about?
Owen Hale. Yeah,
Hale. Yeah, Owen
studio
Hale.
drum for Nashville. His hands would bleed. I mean, that literally bleed.
He is a hell of a drummer, man.
Yeah.
And Huey Tom, and those guys together, of course, you had Billy Powell and Leon and Gary and Johnny. I mean, in '97, they were awesome. Ricky Medlock was really on his game too, and I just enjoyed that. That when I saw I sat there and watched the whole thing. They played songs off of their 20th album. And it was really enjoyable.
They're always a good band. I mean, they're always they're always a
lot of energy, and
the best tribute band out there. They always are.
And Ricky, he even kind of jumps around a little bit like Alan did. He's
Ricky's a showman. Yeah, he tries to emulate Alan. I mean,
Yeah,
People
he,
accuse
he
him of
did.
trying to act like Alan. Well, that's what he's paid for. He's supposed
Yeah.
to get up there and act like Alan. He does a good job.
And he plays his
You
parts
know,
very well, I
people
think. I couldn't have been a better
people
choice.
criticize him for doing what he's supposed to do. You know,
Yeah, I think he's
but
awesome.
whatever.
Well, they're going to criticize anything, I guess, but
Oh yeah.
they even criticize us. There's one comment in here is kind of a criticizing us, but I'm gonna tell it
Oh
because
really? Please say what it is. I
oh
want to
yeah,
hear it.
we tell both sides. We don't mind if people pick at us, but
Oh, but why? Because we talk about fat people. That
well,
must be.
yeah, and one guy said kind of got on to me about something. But I'll go through these comments, and it's not that bad. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. But and the other thing I wanted to was mention thanks everybody for the well wishes. I really wasn't that sick, but I just had this throat thing, and I couldn't. I had laryngitis all weekend, and I couldn't even talk, man. I was like, it was a bad case of laryngitis, and it's still a little rough. But I feel all right. Damn grandkids, they tricked me. I said, look, I'll take you out in the boat, but you can't be sick because I don't want to catch anything from you. Oh, we're not sick. And sure as shit, they were sicker than hell, and I caught it. But I'm on the downside of that. So thanks. And Cindy Hudson, she messaged me last night. Thank you, Cindy, for asking how I'm doing. And it really wasn't that bad. It's just sounded like hell. Nothing's gonna beat that damn COVID I had when I came back from the monument. I thought I was gonna die from that, but this wasn't nothing compared to that. So, but anyway, Craig, we can get into these questions if you want.
Sure, let's do it.
Um, yeah, to start off with here, somebody, I showed show and tell that all that stuff that I found out at the crash site. One of them was a shampoo bottle that well of balsam, and somebody says Billy Powell had greasy hair. But yeah, anyway, Billy Powell, I think he had dry hair because they were always throwing stuff. They called him Briar Patch, didn't they?
Yeah, Briar Patch. Yeah.
And Leon always used to throw stuff in there. Well, old Mark Regan says, Wella Balsam was promoted by Farrah Fawcett. So most likely it was one of the Honkettes shampoo bottles. And it smelled so good it possibly could have been one of the guys in the band. Which, see, we even got experts on the shampoo, but that's okay. We appreciate that, Mark. I heard of Wella Balsam. That wasn't your shampoo bottle, was it, Craig? And your hair curler?
That was my hair curler.
Yeah.
The pink one.
Yeah, and oh yeah. Did you go find that tackle box in your basement?
No, I didn't look for it. I think
Homer Hancock says just one of Ronnie's lures could fetch hundreds, if not thousands. And I think he's right. You got one of Ronnie's lures out of there. Could you imagine? What you need to do, Craig, this is your assignment. You need to go down into that basement and find that tackle box and then have show and tell on the podcast and open it up. Don't open it at all until you get on the podcast, and we'll all look in there together. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess we could do that. Yeah.
You think you could find it?
Oh yeah, it's down there.
Yeah, go down there and get that damn. I'm gonna pester you now. So Craig has an assignment to go get that damn. And if you don't know what we're talking about, we were talking about. Somebody asked a question last week about did Ronnie ever go fishing in between gigs, like when they were on the road. And Craig said, "Oh yeah, we used to go, some of these lakes and things." And then he goes, "As a matter of fact, Ronnie's tackle box is down in the basement." And I'm like, no way. It's like, that's the kind of stuff Craig don't think about, but we do, people that,
I don't remember it as being Ronnie's,
yeah.
so I hate to put it like that, but I don't know anybody on the else that was on the plane that would have a tackle
Well,
box.
well, I asked Gene about it, and he said it was.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, Gene said, yeah. He said, oh, yeah, that was Ronnie's. He said he fished out of that. He
yeah,
remembers it. I asked
okay.
about it today.
It's orange. That's all I know. It's orange.
Yeah, and Gene, I said, and then Gene went off into a rant, and he goes, "That damn Craig don't know what the hell he's got. He's got so much shit down there, he don't know what he's got."
Well,
Yeah, which is true. He's got Ronnie's tackle box, which I imagine Gary fished out of it, right? A lot of
I
people
don't
fished out.
like I said. I kind of went out on. We played like Darien Lake and stuff like that when Ronnie would go out before a show and he would fish and stuff. And God, I think he was just using a bobber. I think he was just. He wasn't like using a worm or nothing. I think he was just. I don't.
Well, it'd
From
be
what I
kind of cool to
remember,
see what's in there.
you know.
And it was on the plane too, right?
Yeah. It was in the warehouse. I wasn't in the warehouse before they dropped all that stuff off. So
Yeah, that's a pretty damn historical item. I mean, if you walked that into Pawn Stars and said this was the tackle box that Ronnie and Gary fished out of, and it was on the plane, the guy would go have ape shit fit.
well,
over
there's no
that.
proof of it except my word. I mean, it was in the stuff in the warehouse, and you
Well,
know.
I think your word's pretty
I
credible.
don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't say Ronnie on it. I mean, but it was in that stuff that was in the warehouse that they took off the plane. I mean, that's where it came from. So
What would happen if you opened it up and there was a little tablet with some lyrics in there, man? You freaking.
no, there's nothing like that in there. I've had it open. It's just
Oh yeah, what's in
there's
there?
a few bobbers and some hooks and just knick-knack stuff, sinkers and shit.
Well, we still want to see what's in there, Craig. Oh, and this feller here, I don't know why he asked this, but he says, Steve Jones, Craig, do you still have the clothes you wore from the accident?
No,
What
I don't.
accident?
Steve Jones, he's the one that donated that T-shirt.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I guess he's talking about your plane crash clothes.
No, I don't know what I had on. They cut that stuff off of me.
I know. And that's why one of these questions
I
about
had
that
a
belt is
I
coming
had
up.
a hole in my lung, so I'm sure they cut that stuff off of me.
Yeah, they don't mess around whenever you're in an accident. They cut everything off. They
Yeah.
cut it all off. I know because I've been in enough accidents to know that that's what they do. They ain't got time to unbutton, or unbuckle or any of that crap. So they just cut. Old Cheesehead, he wants to know, is anybody willing to switch number 20 for number 75? Did we ever figure out the true pattern that we got going? What do we got?
It's 76, 77, 79, 80, and 98.
Yeah, that's a pretty close grouping there.
76 was last week, and then 77 was Will Per Chuck, and 79 was I forget. 79 is Mike Stolings, and 80 is Georgia's Lawn Service, and 98 is LaTanya Burton. Yeah.
Yeah, so 75, I wouldn't really want to have 75 because the odds of hitting 75 are pretty crazy. But then again, crazy things happen.
So we got like 4 or 5 more of these giveaways before the spring giveaway's over. Yeah. And then we'll start a summer thing, I guess.
Yeah, there's be more good stuff to come. Maybe it'll be a fish hook. Could you imagine having a fish hook in your hat at a Ronnie's tackle box? Yeah, that might be some cool shit. Yeah, we all miss America, Craig. And then Larry Tate, which is actually Dave the Disciple. As Kathy Gozzi says, Disciple Dave. I say Dave the Disciple. Says he agrees with Jesus for Survivors and Angela Lynyrd. When Craig was interviewed in the movie If I Leave Here Tomorrow, Craig was clean cut and looked like a different person, and it was a great interview. And I think that's why Jesus for Survivors started watching the podcast. Was because
oh, that's
of that.
Latonia. That our last winner said that she watched it, and her and her husband watched it, and then they found out I was doing the podcast, and she told her husband, "Oh, that same guy that was on that video
Yeah.
podcast." Yeah. So, like I said, I was just acting a fool, just answering a bunch of silly questions. I thought they were interviewing me like I thought they were going to have actors to play in the movie, but it was the wrong movie.
Yeah, well,
They ended up using me. I was surprised.
I think that's one of the best movies made from about Lynyrd Skynyrd. It's to me it was more professional than a lot of them. It was really well done. And I had a copy of it, and I think I gave it to my neighbor Ricky when I lived over in Cocoa, Florida. And I never got another. And Gene signed it too, I think, and I gave it to Ricky, which Ricky deserved. He's a good guy. Then somebody says here, and we were talking about cutting things off in an accident. He says, "Can you say if the belt came from one of the survivors that were deceased?" Well, yes, and that's why I don't want to say who it is because, and then, imagine, if somebody knew whose it was, and I mean, that's not if you're that person, you're the only one who can say whether or not you would say that was something that's creepy or not. So that's why it's best not to say anything. But yeah, it was laying out there and it was cut off, and the animals kind of chewed on it, that leather. But I'm happy to have it, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's going to be something for the survivors for sure. And David the Disciple says he's got all kinds of fridge magnet ideas swirling around in his head. Like what was that one you said, Craig? You're just stoned? A fridge magnet that you're...
Oh, yeah. Close the door. You're not hungry. You're just stoned.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, refrigerator door magnet. Yeah.
Or you could have a bobblehead Craig Reed on the shelf when you open the door and it goes, They do have a bobblehead Ronnie Van Zant, right?
Yeah, I have one. Yeah.
You do?
They're supposed to be worth like $500 or something.
That's what I hear. Yeah. That's what I hear. And then Paul 68, which I guess is his YouTube handle there. Griff, keep shaking Craig's memory. Can't wait for what's going to fall out. Ronnie's tackle box. Come on, Craig. What else do you have in your head? I know. And see, the more we talk, and then Craig will go, "Oh yeah, that reminds me. I happen to have a tooth that Ronnie got knocked out of his head in my little medicine bottle in the medicine cabinet. You never know what Craig's got." Then Lynyrd Skynyrd Freebird is put a test on the comments. I guess they're having trouble if they're subscribed or not, and says test to see if my comment is on the comment page, which you guys check and see if you're if you're still subscribed, because Craig's saying that there's some people telling him that that they were unsubscribed, which
Yeah, it said they had to subscribe 3 different times.
yeah, so I guess that's possible.
Yep.
And then Edward Knowlton, I think I could be butchering that. I might have wrote it down wrong. Nulten. Why would someone be upset over whose belt that is you found at the crash site? I've been thinking about that for days now. Yeah. Keep on thinking, man, because I ain't going to say. But, I don't know what I'm going to do with that thing. I might take it back out there and bury it again. I don't even know. It's kind of freaky. And then Craig, any stories on Barry Lee Harwood? He seemed like a good fit for the Rossi and Collins band, and yeah, that's what made me go ahead and release this Barry Lee Harwood footage in this On the Road with Griff Martin, this guy who asked that. Thank you very much. You're the reason that I decided to put that footage up, and then the people asking about where's Six Gun, and it might piss some people off if I put that up. It could piss Six Gun off. It could piss Barry Lee off. I don't know. Sorry about that, guys, but I'm gonna put it out there anyway because people want to see it. People want to see it. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's skin formation, and people want to see it. I think though that Barry will be fine with it, and Six Gun will be fine with it. I think that I don't know, maybe Zach hit a wrong note or something, and it might hack him off, but I think it'll be all right. And Edward Knowlton again. I really would like another one of On the Road with Griff Martin and Gene Odom, and that's why I put this on the road. And as far as the Barry Lee story, Craig, remember that story I talked about? Barry Lee told me when I was at the studio with him, and he's the one who told me about the cake fight over in Europe. And he said that Ronnie told him the only time that he ever had his ass busted, where he was laid out flat on his ass harder than anything, was when he slipped on that birthday cake that Craig put in his face, and it fell on the floor, and he stepped on it and went straight down. That's what Barry said. He said, Ronnie told me he slipped on that birthday cake and he never hit the ground any harder in his life. That's what you guys did, was a lot of cake fights, right? I mean,
we had a few cake fights. Yeah, it cost them a lot of money, man. They had to close one restaurant down for like 6 weeks or something. We destroyed that place with a cake
Is
fight.
that the one Barry's talking about?
Yeah, I don't know, because that one Ronnie started that one, I think.
Well, no, Barry told me, he goes, he'll never forget.
One, that was Trinifold. That was the agency.
He said he'll never forget. He remembers that they
I
brought
didn't
the
start
cake
that
out,
one.
and he said that he saw that beautiful cake, and you reached in and grabbed a handful of it and came around behind Ronnie and just put it in his face.
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't remember starting that one.
That's what Barry said.
I think Ronnie started that one. I don't know. We had a few cake fights.
Yeah. Well, you guys were both stoned, so who knows what the real truth is.
It was the Trinifold one. I swear I remember Ronnie starting that. I might have started it with Ron. I don't remember.
Yeah. And I know Edward Knowlton, he's wanting to see more Gene Odom, and I talked to Gene today, and I'm going to get out Bad Company 2, and we're going to go fishing either this weekend or next week, and I'm going to record Gene out there in Bad Company 2. We're supposed to do that. I painted a painting of Gene and Ronnie playing poker on the plane, at the poker table, and I'm waiting on it to dry. And as soon as it's dry, I'm going to call Gene and tell him to get his ass over here so he can sign that for me. And we're going to go fishing out in the boat, and we're going to have some good Gene Odom fishing on Bad Company too, telling some stories. So that's going to be coming up soon. You guys stay on the edge of your seat for that one, and hopefully neither one of us will get sick before that happens. But next week, that's pretty soon. And the boat's running good. I got it all tuned up, ready to go. I've been watching a lot of YouTube channel on this fishing game. And man, these guys are rude as hell. I mean, do not be drinking. I don't care where you are in the United States. Do not be drinking and driving a boat. They'll handcuff you and haul your ass to jail. I didn't realize. I mean, when you guys were in Bad Company too, they didn't do that stuff back then, right?
No. God, there's
Bad Company, yeah.
There's a lake. There's a Portage Lakes even around here. God, we used to ride around in pontoon boats and just drink.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's what we did.
But now they're laying around with binoculars, man.
Oh yeah.
They can see all the way across the lake, man. They see you drinking and driving that boat, you're gone.
You're done. And if you
It's,
don't have the preservers,
it's messed up, man. It's the laws.
And I let my
Can't do
granddaughter
anything anymore.
I let my granddaughter drive, right? And I saw this video where guy was letting his kid drive, $400 ticket for letting his kid
Crazy,
drive.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
these guys are out of control, man. You know, and you're out
Everybody's
there trying to have a good
everybody's
time.
just out for the buck, man. And any way they can
Yeah.
screw you out of money, they're going
Yeah.
for it. Now these damn Democrats are in charge. It's all, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
you can't even go fishing. You can't even go out on your
Can't do
boat.
anything without paying.
Yeah, you can't,
Why
can't have
you
nothing nice.
pay tax on the tax you already pay tax on money to make, you pay tax on money to spend, you pay tax on the same money 4 or 5 times. It's crazy.
Yeah, now I know why not too many people have a boat because it's too expensive. If you don't have a fire extinguisher, if you don't have a throwable flotation device, if you don't have a safety flotation device for everybody in the boat, an audible horn or whistle, and also like a flare. I mean, you got to have all this crap, and they want to see you get it out. And I'm afraid I might get in a fight with one of them and get hauled off to jail. I don't know, man. Those guys are assholes. But anyway, we're gonna Gene and I. That might be some good. I'll have the camera, and if that happens, I can't wait to see what Gene says to him. I'll fire him up. They might haul me and Gene both off and take us to jail. And Crazy Kimmy, she's back. Crazy Kimmy, you guys have over 2,000 subscription, and nobody says shit on here. Wheelchair Chuck, I didn't mean that in a derogatory kind of way. I think these guys are bullshit. All righty then, Kimmy.
Who guys? Us?
That. I don't know. That's, she's kind
That's
of going off
sounds
on
like.
a little rant there, Crazy Kimmy.
Nobody says shit.
Yes. I think these guys are bullshit. And nobody says shit.
All righty then.
And in 1 minute she's nice, and then the next minute she's pissed off. I think she might be a rapid
Griff,
cycling.
it's a woman. My God, what do you expect, man? Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah, is she?
It's a woman. That's why women shouldn't be in politics. They're all crazy, in my opinion.
Oh, then here's the guy. He goes, less fat jokes, more skin formation. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm going to go back in my old Motorola phone that I saved in my computer, and I'm going to pull up all of Craig, not all of them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 uh, Craigisms on fatness that I'm going to read to you guys. And these are the ones that I didn't know who Craig was when I first met him, and I go, "Who in the hell is this guy?"
These are my originals, huh?
These are your
I
originals.
keep
Yeah.
telling myself I'm not going to invent those things. I'm just going to use ones that are already, made. I'll just go,
Yeah,
but
these
I
I've
keep
got
I keep
probably
inventing them.
I probably got about maybe 100 of them saved, and I'm gonna go through them there. Let's see how these go over. I don't know if somebody might not like it, but Ketone, you need more Griff Martin, the guitar picker co-host. Love that Zeppelin you did. Yeah, me and my buddy Jay, we like to get together and play, and Jay, he don't sing much because we were playing at a brewery, and I think it was like about 3 days later, we were playing this gig at this brewery, and about 3 days later, he had this massive heart attack and ran into a cop car and died 3 times on the way to the hospital. And he used to be a pretty good singer, and then they put this ventilator down his throat, and now he kind of sounds like I do right now. And we haven't been able to play because neither one of us, we can't sing anyway. But it's when you're just playing guitar and nobody's singing, it's kind of hard to do that. You really need to, have somebody singing. So it's been about a couple weeks since I've been able to mess with the guitar, and my buddy Jay and I have practiced. But as soon as I get better in the next few days, we're going to hit it again. Griff, if you would read Ron Eckerman's book, you would know that JoJo sang with other bands. Remember when I asked Craig, remember we asked you, did JoJo sing with anybody other bands? Yeah, I have listened to Ron Eckerman's book, not all of it. He's got the audio book. And a lot of the reasons I don't read Skynyrd books is because I'm not a Skynyrd expert, and I'm learning just like you guys. And I don't want to be a Skynyrd expert. I just want to, I want to be the same as you guys, out there in YouTube land. And whenever Craig comes up with this stuff, it's good to hear it out of Craig as much as we can get out of Craig. And for me, it's just a Skynyrd overload if it's too much. So I don't really. I know I read some of Paul Abraham's book. I haven't gone through the whole thing, but then when I started messing around, like uh, doing the on the road stuff and traveling, it's just so much Lynyrd Skynyrd you can do in one time, right, Craig? I mean, it gets to be a little exhausting sometimes. So I mean, a little too much Skynyrd sometimes, but I think one day I'll sit down and read them. So we'll go over these little Craigisms I've got written down here with these these things that Craig posts. Now, here's what to give you a little idea what Craig did. And if anybody's friends with Craig on Facebook, you'll see it could be it there for a while. It was a lot of fat stuff. It was just like every 5 minutes it was a fat post. And Craig's buddy John Neal, and I met John, and he's a really good guy, and he says, "Hey, look, man," he goes, "Don't get Craig stirred up on that fat stuff, man." He says, Craig could do a lot of stuff. He could, Craig, he's he could write books, he could do all kinds of things, but when he's talking about all this fat stuff, it just makes him look bad. Would you quit stirring him up? But I can't help it. It's just too funny. So so we'll go. These are probably about 5 years old, I think, Craig. So the first one goes, you're so fat, I bet you think this post is about you. And
I got that from a song. You're so fat, I bet you think this post is about you. You're so fat, I bet you think this post is about you. Don't you? Don't you?
Then the next one here is groups of young fat girls bully skinny girls in school because they are jealous of skinny girls being more popular. Well,
Makes sense to me.
I think the fat ones get bullied too. I mean, I don't think the fat girls are all, hey, let's meet behind the cafeteria.
Well, they're all fat now. Skinny girls are rare.
So they're all fat now.
Oh, they're all fat now. Yeah.
So they're not picking on the skinny ones.
Skinny ones are the ones that are minorities. Yeah, 80% of them are fat. Yeah, they're just they're part of the
that leads me to the next post, which is a perfect segue because Craig says, in my opinion, obese people outnumber skinny people 7-1. How did you come up with that statistic, Craig?
Well, that's pretty, pretty much 70% of people are obese. That's not, and there's overweight, but plus that, so there's about 5% of the people that are.
But what if they're just big boned?
Normal. Huh?
What if they're just
big boned? Yeah, they got thyroid. Yeah, 95% of women got thyroid problem. Yeah.
Or they're big boned, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's some women that have they weigh maybe 180 pounds and they just have huge breasts. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they can have a real skinny waist and just gigantic breasts. And most guys don't mind that until they hit about 65 and they turn into little flapjacks. And
happens before 65.
Well, I'm trying to be nice.
That gravity starts grabbing them things, I don't know, about 50.
Well, we're all gonna look like hell in the end anyway. And I mean, unless you die young, which that's not a bad thing, I guess. Only the good die young.
Some of these men think they can turn 65 and turn into a woman and think they look good.
Yeah.
These new awakened wonders.
It's like I remember when we were kids, in the morning we would before school, we'd pour a bowl of cereal and we'd read the back of the cereal box and eat our cereal and read the cereal box and then Bruce Jenner's on there, and little did we know that one day that he would be a she. And never in our wildest dreams.
She's saying now he's still in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah?
I heard that. I heard her say something the other day that Bruce is still in me.
Well, just think if you had a guy
Did Bruce ever get the operation? I don't know.
No. As a matter of fact, I think he still likes women.
Oh.
I think he does. Yeah, I think he still likes women. Don't quote me on that, but just think if you had a buddy who was clairvoyant, right? And you were a little kid and you were eating cereal and it was your little buddy and he goes, I bet one day he's going to be a girl. And you'd go, get the hell out of here.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, on to the next Craigism. Gluttony is the main contributing factor to obesity. In other words, you eat too effing much.
Yeah, gluttony's a sin. You know what kills me? We got that Ernest Ainsley. He's down here in Akron.
He's not alive anymore.
Oh, I don't know. They still got his church. But every sinking one of those people up there on stage singing are obese. You know, gluttony's a sin. And here, every person on that whole show is obese. It's, it just doesn't make sense.
It's a hypocrite. Hypocrite.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, they're not going to say,
your body's a temple, not a warehouse.
It's not a refrigerator.
A rundown warehouse.
Well, one thing's for sure. I mean, it's a problem. Okay, let's go to the next one because there's some people that are going, I'm sick of this fat stuff. Like,
Good.
Get this out of Craig's system. Fat people envy skinny people, and the fact that they refuse to admit it is a personal problem, in my opinion. Now, if you're headed to the bridge to commit suicide, this is Craig's fault, not mine. He wrote these, and I have to admit, I'm fat to an extent. I mean, I could use another 15
We're not going to talk
pounds.
about too much more information from this part of the show on. So
No, so if you don't want to hear it,
if you're irritated, just go ahead and turn it off.
If you want to hear
done
the Barry Harwood and Derek Hess and Seda, and then you're going to have to listen to this or fast forward.
Tune in Friday or something. We're done. We're bashing.
Here's a good one, Craig. Do you remember this one? When you eat like a pig, you look like a pig.
Yeah. God, that's kind of common sense, ain't it? I don't know.
And I didn't know who Craig was when I was reading this, and I go, what in the hell is this guy doing here? And then he would be in Facebook jail for a couple of weeks, and he'd come back out slamming them again. Right?
Well, you know what? This is right after I lost 80 pounds. All the stuff we're doing here. This is right after I lost 80 pounds, and I was traumatized, man. I got obese for a couple years, and I was traumatized. And once I lost 80 pounds, I was going, man, I got to get people on the bandwagon here, man. I've got to change some people's attitudes, because being fat sucks, and that was my attitude. This is all right after I lost 80 pounds. Yeah, I was totally traumatized by being fat. Yeah.
It's just tough love, isn't it, Craig?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's tough love.
Yeah. It's like a drill sergeant in the Army.
So here's the next one. Good morning, fat ass.
This is stuff this is the way I talked to myself to lose weight. Yeah, I called you fat son of a bitch.
I woke up. I never forget when I read this one. I'll never forget in the morning I read it. I woke up and I said, it goes, good morning, fat ass. And I went, I gotta beat this guy.
That's right.
And then I didn't, and all these Lynyrd Skynyrd things, I already knew Gene and Joe, and I didn't know. And then I was at that gig that Joe Crimp did, and he mentioned, these two fat girls were dancing, and he goes, oh, Craig Reed would like those fat girls over there, and I said, who is that guy? And he goes, if that was Lynyrd Skynyrd's head roadie. And I went, ain't no way in hell that guy's tied into Lynyrd Skynyrd too. There was too many things that were like Lynyrd Skynyrd. So this is not just fat talk. This is Lynyrd Skynyrd fat talk. So it's skin for fatmation. And here's another one, Craig. We got 2 more, so you guys hang in there, man. I'm really glad I'm not a fat effer anymore. That would really suck bad, in my opinion, you fat effers.
Yeah.
And back then, whenever you put like a effer, you had to put a F dash, ER, because if you spelled it out, you'd go to jail.
I also had one of my very best friends die from obesity about this time, so yeah, I was pretty traumatized about fat people.
Yeah,
I've been ever
I remember
since.
that.
Yeah,
I remember,
one of my best
I
friends
think
died from obesity.
No, it was actually John Neal.
Died from bed sores. Couldn't get out of bed and would lay there and piss himself and shit, and got all that shit and stuff in those bed sores that killed him.
Yeah, John Neal told me about that guy, and that was your good friend.
Oh yeah.
You weren't saying this stuff to him, were you?
No, I mean, I was traumatized by fat people. Still am.
Yeah. So you guys get off Craig's ass. He's got a problem with
I'm traumatized. I got brain damage and I'm traumatized.
And this is going to be the grand finale. This is a grand finale. If you see me with a big smile on my face, I'm laughing at a fat woman, and it seems that I'm always smiling. You guys let me know if you want to hear more or if you don't. Let's take a vote on it. At the end of all the comments, put a Y or an N, and I'll know what it means. And I'll tally them up. And if the Y's outnumber the N's, we'll have some more Craigisms.
Well, I don't know. I don't imagine my audience is much more different than normal, regular people. And 80% of the people out there are fat, so I imagine 80% of the people watching are fat. So,
but there's people that take it in stride, and they don't really take it personally. I don't
know.
Mean,
back in
and
the
look
50s, about 2% of the people were fat.
Well, if you had a Woodstock concert now, it'd look like a SEAL convention on the beach. All right, Craig, you got anything else? Anything you want to? Just so I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But just so you guys know, on this video that you're getting ready to see, I'll go ahead and set it up. It's you're going to see at the beginning of the video, Sada's mom, who's a really cool lady, Pam. She's got a business where she does upholstery work, really successful bit, and she does really great work in there. I mean, I was very impressed, and she let us use that place there to practice in, so those guys could go in the studio and record, and then Barry Lee came down there, and Derek Hess, and had Sada and Savannah and Nick Gentry and Zach and Chad Lane in there, and they practiced, and then they went down to the studio, and I got to practice some of the stuff in the practice, and I got some of the stuff in the studio, and it's never before. Some of it's never before. Some of it I think I might have aired on a podcast, but most of it you haven't seen yet. So you guys, I hope you enjoy it, and good luck to Six Gun, and you guys go and buy that Getaway off of iTunes for them and support them, because they worked really hard for that, and a lot of us that supported them did too. Otto, myself, Chad, Reed, Craig. It was a joint effort to get those guys in that studio, and but those musicians are some top-notch musicians, so. That's the setup for the video there, Craig. So let's go ahead and air it.
All right.
One small scoop for man.
One small scoop for mankind. Why didn't I think of that? That's a good one. That's a good one.
On the road with Griff Martin in St. Augustine, Florida, right off of A1A. And I'm at a secret location, recording studio, where we're doing the Alan Collins tribute getaway with Zach Lane, Nick Gentry, Savannah, Six Gun. And this is Chad Lane, currently the singer for Six Gun. What do you think about this, man?
This is really nice studio, really nice.
And so now we're getting set up. What do you think's going to happen next? Are they going to start tuning up and everything, getting ready?
Yeah, they're in there kind of tuning up, finishing up the setup, loading in. They're loaded in now, so I think it's going to be a one take and done. That's what I think. They're that good, you know.
Yeah.
Just Sada's getting ready to roll in, so they'll start tracking probably within 30 minutes, and one take, and we're on our way back to Jacksonville.
And a really great practice that we had yesterday, phenomenal. So they had a lot of progress with that. Well, let's go in and take a look.
Let's do.
Can you hear me, Savannah?
What's up?
What do you think about this? This is actually Leon Wilkerson, a bass that he played. Was it his bass? It was his bass, right?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Very cool.
Look at that. Savannah's gonna be knocking it down with the bass, man.
Yeah. Yup.
And then over here,
bass.
yeah, that was his bass. And then over here we have Alan's guitar. Nick Gentry's gonna be playing. Automotive.
Hey, what's up? Griff.
And Mr. Barry Harwood.
Again with the cameras?
That's it, Barry, that's it. Looking at the Allman Brothers mixing console right here they have hung up on the wall. How cool is that? And it's kind of labeled up there too. Dickie Betts and some of the players and the plug-ins is really cool.
Okay. No, go ahead. I'm quite easily amused.
Ready now?
Yeah.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.